Thursday is 12 p.m. Eastern, it's 5 p.m. in the UK, 6 p.m. in South Africa, and it's time for myself and my good friend, colleague, and collaborator, RJ. Hello, RJ.
You forgot partner in crime.
Oh, darn. I knew I'd missed something.
Yeah.
Right, if we just wait for a few people to join us, because you've been very busy in the last couple of days.
Well, yeah.
Because this is Let's Build a Bot for the Live Video Hub Part 4.
Part 4, everybody.
The weeks are just flying by.
It is flying by. Lots going on here. And then building this bot has been so fun. Yeah, it's been great. And it's going to be super rewarding, I think, when it's done for both the broadcasters and the viewers.
I totally agree.
Are you taken with the mass of bubbles on that?
I can hear myself. Mm-hmm. Just a minute. Right, there's nobody watching. Well, welcome if you are watching.
We got a couple of people. Let me explain first what Live Video Hub is, and then what the bot is for, while you are doing some clicking. So Live Video Hub.
Sorry, my apologies for that.
Oh, you're doing great. You're doing so great. You can stop me if I explain this wrong too. But Live Video Hub is a place where BLive broadcasters can broadcast their show and cross-post it in addition to them broadcasting on their own business page. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can broadcast on your business page. It's a wonderful thing, but you're kind of almost already talking to people you know. Cross-posting to Live Video Hub, you get some different eyeballs, some people you don't know visiting you, because it's a TV channel that's going on all the time. We have about, 13 broadcasts a day now?
Oh, yeah. It's between 13 and 15 a day. It's going up nicely.
Yeah, going up nicely. 134 shows a week on Live Video Hub. And so the people that come there that are interested in finding a show and watching a show might be able to connect with your show. So that's the benefit, certainly, of being on the Live Video Hub. That's what the hub is. Essentially, it's a page that broadcasts everybody's cross posts. Steven and I are writing the bot. I am doing the technical side and the writing, and Steven is acting as my client and telling me, what it is that we want, reviewing what I produce for him and letting us know what's coming. Just kind of we're bouncing off of each other and coming up with a way to build a bot that does a couple things. Well, we serve two audiences in the bot.
We do, yeah.
We serve the broadcasters who want to get more eyeballs to their broadcasts. We also serve viewers who want to find a good broadcast to watch. And so we serve these people in different ways, but that's the main stuff right there. And I'm building the bot to help broadcasters connect to viewers and help viewers connect to shows. And that's what this show is about. What else do you have to say, Steven? Fill us in on the rest.
Bill is saying, welcome, Bill. Bill's saying, building your bot is a great example of 1 + 1 = 3. I agree. The bot making is an awesome skill, and you're actually producing something which saves people a lot of time. Now, one of the things, bugbears we've had ever since the days of Blab, we'll keep going back there because it was good, is finding each other, finding shows. Now, having, as RJ said, brought 134 shows onto one page, you can scroll through, you can see who's going to go live today, you can set yourself a reminder, and that in itself is worth it. The other thing that's happening is that people are actually watching shows on there, then coming on to watch your show. But discoverability is the key, and that's the thing that RJ has been digging into over the last week or so since we were last together. And I'm going to say hello to Barb. Hello, Barb. It is cool. It's way cool. This is the coolest of cool things, because this is bots at work. This is a test of how useful a bot can be. Now, when I looked at it earlier in the week, it just had the broadcasters on there, and I thought, well, that's good. But that was just the beginning. And now to tell the story of what happened since, I'm going to drop down and hand over to RJ.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring my screen up. I suggest, if you can at the moment and you're watching, that you actually go full screen. RJ is going to give me directions as to what I should be doing, and I'm going to try and explain. Well, I'm just going to have to drive the bus, really. Okay.
Steven has become our bus driver. And so, yeah, if you're watching on a phone, this is going to be really difficult. Do watch on a laptop if you can, but this is the backside of what a bot looks like. If you are familiar with mind maps, then you would be kind of familiar with this interface. So what I've done, I'm going to show you a couple things that I've done today. I'm going to pause in between each major category so that Steven can come back up and we can answer questions, and then he'll go back down and drive the bus again. The first thing that we are going to go through today is what our broadcasters are going to be given. So the block that Steven is scrolling through there, that is the series of messages that folks will get, every single person, when they when they subscribe to the bot. There's stuff about privacy in there. There's stuff about, hey, this is a bot. This is the LiveHub bot. Insert cool name here. We're still looking for a cool name, people. Please put your suggestions in the comments. So the first column there, what Steven's scrolling through, that is just the introduction of what is happening in this bot, what this bot is for, things like that, stuff that we that I put into everything. So moving on from there, then that next, go ahead and click on that, Steven. The next guy there's a little bit of a privacy thing there. People can consent to let us use their first name in the bot. They can say, no, I don't want you to use my first name in the bot. No matter what they say, if they say no, then I have a little action that will go and scrub, anonymize their information, basically. They're still in the bot, but they'll, we won't use their first name, basically. But then it kind of goes to this next column that says, hey, great, I'll handle that way until you tell me to change it. And then that next one over, Steven, is where people choose if they want to be broadcasters, or if they want to be, if they want to find a show instead. Now, last week, when we last left our heroes, last week we were talking about maybe putting a third button in there called both. That turned out to be a lot more difficult in practice, and I felt that it was a little bit confusing. So I had it in there for a while. I took it out and I did something entirely different instead that will lead broadcasters back to the choice to, search for a show. And that will also, when people search for a show, they'll be able to let us know if they want to be a broadcaster. And then they can go through this first element, which is getting information from broadcasters. That's really the first series. If you sign up as a broadcaster, we're going to ask you a series of questions. Why? We're building a discoverability engine so your show gets found. The more stuff you give us, the more discoverable your show will be. It's kind of like when you're building a website and people say search engine optimization. This is the discoverability engine that we're building. If you answer every question and give us everything that we're asking for, the more discoverable your show will be. So, very good. I see. Okay, so we're on that first column now. Okay. First question it asks is, hey, please type your regular show information. And those little bubbles above are just kind of talking about, please, the more, just what I just said, basically, the more info you give us, the more discoverable you'll be. And then please type your regular days and times. Now, I know that a lot of live streamers will have regular shows, and then they'll have shows that they will just get on and do 5 minutes while they're walking down the street, hopefully not driving. We don't like that. But, people will get on at different times of the day and all of that kind of stuff. We are not going to be able to, me and Steven, couple of volunteers, don't you know? We're not going to be able to keep track of every single time you go live. If you do a lot of those one-off type live stuff, we are going to be able to help people discover regular shows that go on at a certain time that we can send people a reminder for. I hope that makes sense. So what we're asking for the discoverability engine is the title of your regular show, the days and times you go live. That's what we're asking for right there. So fantastic. Right after you answer that question, then we're going to ask you if you have a bot. Here's the reason. If you have a reminder bot set up for your show, and I've set up several for people, so I know a few of you have them. If you have a reminders bot set up for your show, we wouldn't so much rather people get reminders through your bot. That's because honestly, when you do a reminder through your bot, you're going to give so much more information. We're going to give hey, this show's going live. Please tune in, and we're going to give them a link. But with your reminder, you're going to give them a direct link right to the show, probably a show card if you have one of those, a bit more information, and it'll be more personal and connected to you. So we're asking for a bot just in case you do have one. And if you do have one, we're going to prioritize people connecting to that rather than us just linking to your show page. Hope that makes sense. Steven, do we have any questions so far? We'll wait for Steven to answer my question. He'll pop up.
I'm back. I'm going to appear on screen, and let's see. Let's catch up. And Jason is with us. Hello, Jason. And Claire is joining, and she's enjoying the explanation you're giving, RJ. I'm fascinated too. This is a learning experience for me because I can do simple bots. My bots are very simple, but RJ can do amazing bots, and that's what we're looking at today. And you're using the ability to actually enter free text.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that validated in any way? Is it just the
text
common sense?
So you can with that free. Okay, so for our viewers right now, on the Pro account, you can get something called an open-ended question, basically.
Okay, yeah.
And that will allow you to give free keyboard input. It will, and it will actually give you a choice, Steven. When you get in there and start building and you put up a question that has like an open-ended answer like that, people can answer with text. That's not really validated in any way. Or they can answer, if you have an answer field with an email address, that is validated. If you have one with a number, they have to type numbers in. Right. So there are, and I've got actually one that's going to take images, show cards from people. We'll see a little bit later. So there are a ton of things you can put in that free keyboard input. Some are validated, some are not. Text is not. They can type in anything they want.
Yeah, but common sense hopefully prevails. And when you ask somebody for the show name and the days of the week that it's on, they'll actually put something. Yeah, okay. And I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Right now, the other thing that I want to come to is that the principles that you're using here can be used by anybody who becomes involved with ManyChat and bots, can't they? There's nothing. Everything that you're doing. What I'm trying to say, I got it in English, shall I? Everything you're doing is available in ManyChat.
That is correct. Now, some features are pro features.
Yeah.
So the free account won't do that type of free keyboard input. Every time you see that, a basic account, a free account will not do that. Now, a pro account is $10 a month for up to 500 subscribers. For me, it's the best $10 a month money can buy. But know that whenever we say it's a pro feature, you've got to be on the pro account. But otherwise, everything's accessible.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that you could boost a single post for $10 and it lasts a day, or you can spend the whole month creating bots and really marketing. But that's just our, a joint opinion, really.
Joint opinion.
Probably the best $10 you could spend in terms of getting the word out about your shows and your services.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Are we ready to go again?
We're ready to go again. Okay, round two. We're splitting this up so that we can kind of, so that it's easier for people to digest a little bit, because when Steven saw this whole thing zoomed out right before we got on, his eyes just, I've never seen him do this before. His eyes just got wide. And I thought to myself, we'd better break this down for folks. Otherwise, not fun at all to listen to. So here we are. And we're asking about bots. The folks that say I sure do, they're going to get an opportunity to type in, a link to connect to their bot that they want people connecting on. That could be to the reminders of your live streams. It could be to a sequence that you want them to go to, whatever you want to do. We will let people know, hey, we're connecting to this person's, we're going to connect you right to them, that kind of thing. Another answer in the list is I don't have one. And then we say, okay, that's cool. We're going to send, the type of reminder that we're going to give is very general. We're going to send you to their Facebook business page. We're going to give them the link to your Facebook business page. They'll have to look for the show. So you might get some drop off there, but I don't know. Are they really that interested if they can't click and scroll? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go ahead, and you don't need a bot to do this. If you're a broadcaster, you don't have to set up a reminder bot to do this. It's just icing on the cake if you do. And people will get there a lot more directly. I also put in a third option. And that third option was, if you click on the, Steven, if you click on the big column that is just right of, center, we'll be able to see the three options on the left. Go ahead and go just, no, that's okay. Yeah, right there, right on that column. That is, I'm pointing at my screen like he can see it. That's hilarious. Go a little bit left to the big column. Yeah, click on that, please. Fantastic. Scroll down on the left-hand side so we can see the three options. Okay, so we've got I sure do when I ask the bot question. I sure do, not right now. And then what's the benefit? Because, people might not know what they are, what the benefit is. So I take a little bit of time to explain the benefit of bots if people just don't even know what language I'm speaking right there. So super useful. Tried to anticipate the questions that people would have there. And then everybody, no matter what they answered, will go to the next section. Go ahead and click there, Steven. Okay. At the top, let's read that. Please give us the link to the business page. And this is the actual link. And this is what Steven will use to connect you and to send the cross-posting request. And that's something that you can copy and paste, particularly if you're on a laptop. That will be helpful to you. Okay, next one. Please give us your show card. Okay, this is one of those things, right? You've been told in social media marketing forever and a day, if your post has an image, it has a higher chance of being read. They're not kidding. If you provide us a show card, which is really just a card and some, an image, some pictures on it that stand for your show and what time you're broadcasting, time and date you usually broadcast, your show will be much more discoverable and it will be ahead of folks that don't have a show card. Okay. Because what I'm going to do if you don't provide us a show card is I'm going to put a stock photo in there. Because I have to have an image in that spot. So please provide us a show card. And if you don't have one right away, that's okay. Do get it to us. So that is important stuff. After the show card, great. Give me a 1-sentence description of what your show is about. The reason that I'm asking for this is because the way that I'm presenting the shows in the discoverability part of the bot, it will be super helpful if somebody could read just a short summary description of what your show's about. Because folks are going to be, and we'll see this in a minute, but I don't want to confuse everybody by moving there now. People are going to be able to flip through these images. The images will have image, show title, one-liner description. And so people will be flipping through one by one. You want to write something that will catch somebody's attention and draw them to you. So that's what that 1-sentence description's about. We're also going to say, hey, what category would your show best fit in? I have in there category A, category B. I have since kind of, what is the word I'm looking for? I crushed down the categories into 5 main umbrella categories. So I'll go ahead and put those in there a little bit later on. But we want you to be able to kind of choose, do I fit in a business or do I fit in a marketing or, health and nutrition or, where do I fit basically? Okay, fantastic. Next question. Next question has to do with a little bit of a service that Steven and I want to provide to broadcasters. And that is folks that don't have a huge experience level. We want to be able to provide them little tips every once in a while to help better their broadcast. I know that people are inundated with information every single day. Listen. There is a gas station in Omaha, Nebraska that I will no longer go to because when you take the gas pump out to go pump your car up, a TV screen will start showing you commercials. I'm like, wait, guys, I would like to pump gas in peace right now. Everybody has this problem. Information's coming at us all the time. We want to give you little bites of information that you can use on your next show to make it a better broadcast. We want to send these a little bit at a time over a long time. And hopefully that will help people. It'll help us all be better broadcasters. I know I'm learning something new every day. So that's our mission. And that's why we're asking this question. So I ask you to kind of categorize there. Are you brand new to this? You've got some experience, or you're super cool and don't necessarily need a whole lot. So after we ask that question, could you use any help with the following? And I got multiple choice there. There's discoverability. Probably everybody's going to hammer on that category. Hosting a show, confidence on camera, repurposing your show. Those 4 are the things that people ask questions about the most. How do we know that? Steven Healey. He is huge in the BLIFe group and always answering questions like this. And so we want to provide things that are valuable to you. If you hit on discoverability, when we have discoverability tips, we're going to send that stuff to you. So just know that whatever you hit on there, and you can kind of do a multiple time thing if you have more than one, but we would be more than happy to send you stuff that is valuable to what you're doing. Maybe you are completely confident on camera, but you have no idea how to repurpose your show. We've got you. We've got your back. So fantastic. And then the last thing on the bottom there, Steven, if you want to discover some new and exciting live streams, click the button below. So that's what I've done. I will, after you have set up and given us all the information for your broadcast, then you can search for fellow BLivers to support, to learn from, to, to just watch their shows, whatever it is you want to do. We want to help you find shows on the network as well. We don't want this necessarily to be a place where people just cross-post their shows and never show up. That kind of thing doesn't necessarily bring you, a dedicated viewership. For me, there are several shows that I watch and that I participate in on a regular basis, and they're kind of part of a loose network of mine. And that's what brings me recommendations, views, things like that. So the discoverability engine that I'm building is great, but it's also super cool if I see Cheryl Piper Snyder there. If Cheryl says, "Oh, you want to talk about messenger bots? RJ's got a show. Go on over there." You know what I'm saying? So building that network by supporting each other is absolutely huge. So that's why at the end of all my questions about gathering information about your show so that I can make it discoverable, I'm going to say, hey, do you want to go back and discover some shows? Steven Healey.
Now, this is the first time I'm seeing this. So we're all in this together. And I just want to go back and say hello to Fernando and to Jason saying, keep the card at 16.9.
Yeah. Yeah, keep the card at 16.9. And honestly, when I was, you'll see the images in just a second. I was just, pexels.com this morning. But when we will put the information about we need a show card, we'll give you some specific pixels to work with, and it will be 16.9 because that's the size that they want. So we'll tell you, hey, if you don't have a card, make one up. If you can have one, make one up, have somebody make one up real quick, or make one up real quick. Here's the requirements. Yep. So there is that. Good. Very good. Okay. Do we have any questions? Is everybody's brain imploded out there? Tell me no. That would really be bad.
First of all, I've got to say, the first time I've seen it, this is a fantastic assistance for broadcasters in helping them to help each other. That's the brilliant thing I like, where we're actually saying, what don't you know about, what do you know about, and bringing people together. So we're actually building community, and that's the beautiful thing about live video, that everybody is cross-supportive. And if we can discover people with skills and people without skills, put them together, then that's another job for the hub. And also, as we do with the hub, you decide when you want to broadcast on it. And also with the way RJ is put together, you decide what information you're going to share. Yeah. So
absolutely.
It can be as much or as little. Now, the only thing that I can say about that is the more information you give to people about your show, the easier it is for them to decide to come and watch you. Yeah. So as RJ said, that's a free text area. So take advantage of it. Because that's the way to become known, is to actually say what you're doing. If you don't say what you're doing, people guess, then they might just move on to the next show. And with 134 broadcasters, as you'll see in a moment, something I have seen is a categorization. There is competition. There is already competition, albeit friendly competition, but there are several categories which are very well represented, it has to be said. And Jason's saying thank you for the good info. RJ, that's to you. This is your information. So,
well, you too. We're partners in crime. It's good.
Oh, here we are. We are indeed, and we're on a journey. And this is week 4, and it's going astonishingly well. Right. Okay. So, if there are questions, please do ask. If you want to join us on camera in about 10 minutes time?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, about 10 minutes time. Then if you type guest in the comments, then we can bring you on the camera to round off the show. And for the first time ever, if you're watching on the live video hub, then if you're actually on the hub itself, we've got two bots. We've got one on BLive in 5, and we've got one on the live video hub. So we've got you covered. So bots are everywhere. Bots rule, and all the bots we're talking about are actually designed by RJ using ManyChat, using the Pro system, which, as we say, is $10 a month and the best marketing you could do every month, because although it comes back to building one conversation at a time, you can help a lot of people with one bot, and that's what we're going to do. Right, okay. Are you ready again?
Let's go again. Let's do the personal coaching over there on the right side, and then we'll bump back up again. So, okay, everybody, raise your right hand. Tell me that you won't be freaked out about what you're about to see. Don't be freaked out. It's okay. It's all right. This is the process. This is how I'm able to take a list of 134 categories and make them into main categories, subcategory, leading people to your show, and then linking out to your show. So, Steven, if you would, you are on the first category, which is business. Yeah, hop over there to the guy in the red shirt, please. Okay, fantastic. So, what I ended up doing was, let's see. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're on the right one. So, this is what people see when they say, I want to find a show. Sweet. I'm going to ask you a few questions and I'm going to put you in the right direction. What kind of shows you interested in? So those are the 5 categories: business, health and nutrition, talk show, marketing, personal coaching. Marketing, we needed to bust out into its own personal little area. So there's an awful lot of you talking about marketing, kids. I'm doing it too, so I know. So very good. Those are kind of the little categories there. If you will, Steven, hit on the left on the photo with the laptop. There are arrows. If you get in the right hand side or the left hand side column there. I mix up my right and my left a lot, so that makes things a problem. Go ahead and flip through those categories, meaning go ahead and hit on the arrows in the left-hand column on the laptop picture. The left-hand column that is like showing you up close the thing that you're building on, Steven. Yeah, right. Yeah, so you can kind of see right there, those are the 5 categories. And I put just kind of seriously a stock photo in each of them. That's kind of how I broke down the categories. When you see this on a phone, if you're going through the discovery engine or somebody else's, you'll be able to flip through these categories by swiping. It's a little like Tinder for shows, but hopefully less crank calls. Anyway, you'll be able to kind of flip through and see those one by one. Every category I put catchy subtitle because I had to put something in there, but we'll think about, how we want to kind of word that for us. And so now let's go, Steven, if you would, let's go all the way to the right to the guy in the red shirt, to the personal coaching category. And yeah, very good. So it's that dude right there. Okay. When people hit on that category, and Steven, if you would, that left-hand column where it shows close up what you're building, all the way to the left. Just a little bit more to your left onto the big card where the actual like building canvas, you would probably call it. All right. You know what? Yeah, that one right there, my friend. Go to the laptop.
It's at this point you wish you were driving, don't you?
Well, It's a beautiful thing because I have to say my words, because usually when I'm driving around on this thing, I'm just thinking stuff in my head, and now I get to hear it and think, does that make sense? Yes, it makes sense. It's the whenever I say building canvas, it's that strip on the left next to the menu.
Right. Okay.
So if you go to the building canvas and then you go to the laptop picture, you'll see that there are arrows on either side of it.
Would you
go to the building canvas for me? And go to the laptop picture.
We've got a little problem here. I'm back on screen. I can't. When you say building canvas, right? Okay. I've got the 5 pictures, yeah, and the personal coaching one doesn't appear to lead anywhere but right. Do I need to come left to here?
So, so when I say building canvas, I mean that part to the right, or sorry, part to the left that will slide in and out for you, that, you know, where you type, where you add pictures and videos and stuff. That's what it is. You're right on it. That's what I mean. Yeah. The building canvas is a column.
Okay, yeah.
Very good. So to the right and the left of the image, this is the way the gallery works. Yeah. See, you can flip through categories. Very good.
Magical.
It is so magical. So now I want you to get on the main business, or the main category where it says health and nutrition, business, all of that. And I want to go to the personal coaching one. So if you go to about the middle of the page and scoot up on the 5 categories there, hit on the one to the left that has, you know, the laptop on it. Go ahead and hit on that.
Yeah.
This works a little different than the rest of it. Now go to the building canvas.
Yeah.
And hit on that. Right? So you see business, we got health and nutrition. Click one more. Talk shows. I'm being funny there. Marketing. Again, I'm being funny with the picture. And personal coaches. Now, what I've done is I've filled out a couple of these categories so that you can understand, you know, how people are going to find your shows. So go ahead right now and hit on right under on the building canvas, right under red shirt guy. Yeah, hit on that. That'll. Oh yeah, hit on the arrow. And that will give us. I'm not reading that card too well, but basically what it says is the personal coaches are all listed below, and it's on that same carousel that people will flip through, just like you saw Steven do just now. Every show will have an image, which is the show card. It'll have a show title underneath, and then it will have a little one-liner description, and it'll have 2 buttons. Take me there, which is either we're going to link right to your show page right there, or we're going to link to your bot right there, or the set reminder button, which means that then you will get reminders 15 minutes before the folks go live. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah. I'm good.
At the end, go ahead and go to the building canvas, go to the picture of the tin can and the string, go to the arrows to the right. You'll see that I put the same picture in for everything. Go ahead and click it a couple times.
Oh, right.
One more time. At the end of every category, I put a, hey, are you not finding what you're looking for? Do you want to go back to the beginning? So that people can return to the main categories. We may choose to put a couple extra things there, like, hey, you know, if you don't see what you're looking for, you know, write in a request or start a show of your own. But I didn't go that far with it. But I wanted to give people a place where they could return. to the main menu. And if they don't find a show, they can start their search again for maybe a show in the same kind of vein or maybe something completely different. We have a lot of variety. And so if people want to find a show, hopefully they will find a show with us. So that's kind of how the individual shows will work. I'll have a big category, big main category. Business is a big main category. I'll have subcategories under that. And then under those subcategories, I'm trying to make it so that it's really just 2 or 3 clicks to find what you need, because you know what? People won't sit through 6 or 7 clicks. You know what I'm saying? They just, people get a little impatient, and that's a totally fine thing. So I tried to make it so that that shows are discoverable, hopefully within 2-3 clicks here. The business category is one of those that I kind of had to split out a bunch. And Steven, if you'll give us the wide view of this. It's pretty big, isn't it? So we have categories. We have several shows in business coaching. I think we have 8 shows that business coaches do. That's kind of that first category. Then if you hit on business coaches there, then you will go down to the individual shows of business coaches. Second category, networking. And so if you hit on the business category of networking, it'll take you to individual shows again, and then real estate. We have several real estate shows on the channel right now, and it will kind of show you what those are. It's the same thing that you've seen. It's an individual show, a little bit of a description, and either take me there, which connects to your page or your bot, whichever you choose to connect to, have people connect to, or set a reminder for the show. We're going to send out real simple reminders, really a couple of sentences long. Hey, these folks are going on the air in 15 minutes, maybe your one-liner show description again, and a link so that they can join you, either again to your show or your bot, whichever you want. So that was so much, you guys. I thank you. Most of the time, people will not sit through these technical things, but you guys you're sweating it out with me, and I appreciate it, especially Steven, who has to drive.
Well, I took a wrong turn there. The GPS wasn't working. Yeah, I hopefully got back on track anyway. Yeah. Enough with the metaphors and similes. I'll stop now. Oh, God. Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is, looking at it for the first time, it is so comprehensive, but it will be so easy to use. And right, okay. And can a butt like this be repurposed for multiple clients?
Well,
just let me rephrase that. I'll read it properly, shall I? Can a bot like this be repurposed for multiple clients, is what Carlos was saying.
Answer, of course. Of course it could. Because ManyChat, if you build a bot in ManyChat, you can copy a bot from one page to another. It'll create an entirely separate copy, and then you just zhuzh the titles, and you're on your way. So yeah, the structure is something that can be copied from one page to another and repurposed for multiple clients.
Well, each bot can become a template, can't it?
Yes, and in fact, that is how I'm able to do some of my work.
It's magic. Sorry, it's magic. I didn't mean to say. No. I mean that's the thing, though. You effectively, over a period of time, build a toolkit. Yeah, and then you can use. I mean, I'm a programmer, and you write subroutines for one program, and they're useful in another program, and it's the same sort of principle. And Claire has just congratulated me on my driving. That's very kind of you, Claire. A few wrong turns, and Carlos is saying nice about the ability to replicate. And I too want to say thank you to everybody who's stayed with us, because we've found that, I mean, it's because we're actually talking against it and we can swap in and out and everything, but to actually do a demonstration like that, and RJ was going for about 30 minutes there in the sessions that we did, but it was fascinating stuff, because it's the first time we've seen it. It's the first time anybody's seen it, and it is bot building at its best. So I'm glad to have been part of that. If you do want to join us on camera for the last few moments of the show, then just type guest and you can join us while RJ takes a little breather after that. You're more than welcome to join us if you've got any questions. And Claire is saying, I'm currently feeling a bit the icon. Oh,
it's I think it's the shocker,
right.
the shocker icon, if I'm not mistaken there.
Right. Okay. A bit in shock. Yes, we can understand that. I'm in shock, good shock, because this is a fantastic bot that's going to be very useful to everybody who's on the live video hub, which is where RJ is actually building the bot for. And mine, right, okay, that little icon actually says mind boggled, and so your interpretation was right, RJ. And I mean, it's a mammoth task putting all that together.
Well, it is. There are some little tricks in ManyChat that I have discovered as well. If you plant your cursor down and hold the shift down and drag it over a bunch of bubbles, you can copy and paste a section at a time.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Which is really helpful when you got a canvas this big. And for me, I mean, it's only going to get bigger, because what I did was, I mean, I honestly did, I filled out what the space is going to be needed for one category for the personal coaching. Mm-hmm. But stuff like the business category and the marketing category are flippin' huge. They're just so big. And so getting that going is it's going to be a lot bigger by the time that we're done, because I will also need to, here's what I didn't add, because that was going to be way too bad. You know, you guys, I didn't want this to be a huge bowl of spaghetti. So I didn't add the tagging in the background. And all of that, I didn't add any of the background procedure stuff that we're going to need to do to be able to pay attention to, okay, what level of broadcaster are they? What are the kinds of topics they want to know about? All of that, all those things deserve tagging and actions on the back end. I didn't put them in because I knew that it would just be way too much. I think I put one of them in there and then I'm like, I need to stop immediately because too much. So there's some more stuff. There's more stuff that will go in. There's certainly more shows that will go in with the correct pictures on them. And two, one of the things I need to ask you, my client friend, is I need to ask you, is there, because right now the only images that I have in the bot are for the placeholders for show cards.
Yep.
Is there a little visual language we want to use? Is there, we kind of need a graphic for the bot. We need a name for it as well. Claire's here. How you doing?
You know me. I was watching. You invite me to join. I thought I'd come and say hello. And thank you very much for that, RJ. That was just, as I said, I'm slightly mind-boggled, but amazing.
Yeah. It's going to be great. I am so I'm so excited about adding discoverability in, because when I've been recruiting for the Live Video Hub, like, hey, you got to join this thing, and people are like, so it's just a Facebook page? I mean, like, what is there more about it? Yes, it's a Facebook page that has many, many broadcasting shows on it, but adding this discoverability part, this is what's going to draw your broadcasters in. This is what's going to be the big draw for some of them. And I'm just imagining all types of things. So I'm real excited over here.
And the audience as well, because one of the things is that finding shows up to now has been, well, it's virtually impossible. Facebook search is there, but it's sticky at best. And this is going to mean that as a viewer of live video, you're going to be able to go to the hub and you're going to be asked to select the category you're interested in. You're going to be shown the shows that are in that category. You'll be told something about them, and then you can click a button to get a reminder either from the bot itself or from the site. I think it's magical. Hello, Jason.
Hello.
Jason's here.
Is your mind blown too? Because
it is.
I've just got my head around cross-posting, and then this is all being dumped into it as well. It's all good stuff.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Surely.
Okay. I was going to say, really, not only did the technology blow my mind, but also the ability that RJ has to be able to get the point across. I gotta say, it was a really good breakdown.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I was really worried that I would go too fast because sometimes I get all geeky, but I'm glad to hear that it went well.
Yep.
Oh, it did. It did, because there's an art to getting technical things across in language that we can all take in. And this is not your everyday bot. This is a bot that's going to do magical things, and it does them not because of just the bot building, but the design. Because yesterday I gave you 64 categories of shows that are actually on the live video hub, and you've squidged it down to 5 and then worked back out again. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to, because it's going to take a good 3-4 hours to take the information that we have in the spreadsheet you currently have, fill in the shows. And then kind of with some folks, we're going to need to kind of go back and ask them for show cards and do they have a bot and all of that kind of stuff. So it will take some work to actually kind of really make it happen. But when we have that done, hoping to also find people who will test with us and make sure that I've built things correctly and everything's hooked up. That's always my concern.
And another good thing about it is asking people for show cards is going to probably help some other people get motivated enough to create content, graphic content for themselves. It's kind of just another little encouragement. Take it and run with it.
Yeah. I see Udemy class, Steven.
Indeed. So do I. Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
It's all really good stuff. That's because this world of live video is so many people are getting into it and learning about it and having all this resource and this information available and everything else that can go on in the background is just great.
Yep.
Yeah. Just a thought, because I normally sort of throw this out. The bot itself could become the central focus of a Udemy course because you're using all the features of ManyChat. Just a thought.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have to discuss. Because the cloning machine is not yet working, but I'm working on it and I may need it.
Do you know what Claire's speciality is?
No.
Claire, would you? Claire is the author of Time Management for Dummies.
Nice.
You see, right place, right time.
Right place, right time.
Time management, productivity. So yeah, if you haven't got enough time, I can help.
Sweet. This is it's been a new adventure. All exciting things are, but sometimes it does get a little like, what's happening now? But I am not complaining over here because it's been It's been very, very good to me. This whole thing has, and I'm hoping that this will generate a lot of value for people with hopefully just a little bit of time investment and giving us the information that we need, because that's going to be the biggest deal going forward is, making sure we get everything.
Yeah. As Jason quite rightly pointed out, this is a chance for people to step back for a moment and get organized.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you say it's if you're working on your brand and you want your brand to pay your bills, then you want to put in the time. What you put in it, you're going to get out. And if this is a good encouragement for you, absolutely. And getting and understanding your guys' process and what people need to do, it's just something any and everybody should be doing if you're serious about your brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully next week we'll be able to. Oh, you're gonna run, aren't you, Jason?
Because I'm gonna see you in an hour.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah. See you soon, Jason. Bye for now.
Okay. Bye.
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 That personal brand stuff, being an entrepreneur, and especially somebody who's a live streamer who's willing to put themselves out there, putting your personal stamp on things, it's what we do. And this is going to be no exception. One of the questions that occurred to me while I was building was that, okay, so if I have 17 personal coaching shows, how am I going to, and if they're all kind of basically this, if I can't bust out categories, how am I going to decide which show gets in front of which show? Because you flip through them one at a time.
Yep. Yeah, indeed.
So my decision here, and let me just run this past you, Steven and Claire, as well, is I think that the decision is first, who's got a show card? Yep. Those folks will go first. And then if I have ties there, if I have a bunch of people with show cards, what's the date they signed up for the hub? Yeah. And make it so that the early birds get the exposure first.
That's very fair. I mean, there is a question which everybody who's in marketing asks the marketers: how do you get to the first page of Google? Well, we have a new question: how do you get to the first page for Live Video Hub? There you are. That's the sort of thing it's related to. And obviously, the more information that you give, then you've earned the right to go up the list. I mean, at the moment we've got, is it 11 business coaches?
Yeah, I think it was 11. It was a lot. Yeah.
Well, it was outnumbered by chat shows. But have you found a category for the equine one? Because that's a difficult one to place. Because that was talking to animals.
Well, so I have been, and I'm glad you're asking me this, because I would love to get your take. I want to have a category that is a miscellaneous category, but I don't want to call it miscellaneous because I don't want people to feel like their shows are, I want to call it something that people might want to investigate, new and interesting, or something like that, weird and wild, something that will cause people to go, I'm gonna check out this category. We need a catch-all, because talking to horses doesn't really fit. But we've got a sports show. Sports show. We got a rugby show. Wiggum. Go Wiggum. Anyway, we've got one sports show, so I can't create a category for one show, but it's important and it kind of stands by itself. So what would you name a category like that? I'll take suggestions.
We'll take suggestions from everybody who's watching too. This is we don't want to, everybody's special. Every show is special. Everybody does the show for a reason. Everybody makes the best show they can. What we don't want to do is have, and these are the others, as RJ said, so we need a sort of title. Speciality shows. That rings of Britain's Got Talent, doesn't it?
Yeah, so
or America's Got Talent.
Eclectic.
Eclectic.
Is that a bit too weird and wonderful?
It's a collection.
Collection, yeah.
I'm liking specialty because that sort of gives the air of expert knowledge, which is pretty nice. Good. We also need a name for the bot. Everybody, we've been searching for a name for the bot. We need one. We need one bad. LVH is not going to work.
All right. Okay. We'll just. Jim might have some ideas. Let's introduce Jim Shankle. Jim, meet Claire, who, like me, is in the UK. RJ, you know. Jim, your thoughts.
1 minute.
Okay. Right.
He's on a delay.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Right.
I was on the other show in the live video hub, and I had that open, and then I came into this one. So sorry, I'm new at this. So apologize.
No, there's a delay which confuses everybody.
Yeah, well, I was listening to you guys on one conversation, and actually two conversations.
And you catch up on it.
Yeah.
Right. You got any questions from the show for RJ or anything at all, Jim?
Well,
any observations?
I've actually got a question. I was asked several questions or made several comments in the show, in the whatever screen I was in the live video hub, and I didn't know whether you saw those or not. Does anybody are there two different ones going on? There's the BLive in 5 and the live video hub, and you're not having visibility perhaps to one of the comment areas?
That's right. We only have visibility on the BLive in 5.
I got you.
Hopefully Facebook will change that down the line, but for the moment, we both see the comments afterwards, so they would be addressed. Right. But for the moment, you take it that we haven't seen them.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. RJ, I'm very impressed. I mean, it's one of those kind of things. The biggest confusion I've had is, really what's out there, what's available, and to Jason's point a little bit earlier, and what you were saying, I mean, to be able to be very, it's going to force everybody who's broadcasting to get tighter with their agendas, and because people who want to come in here and get educated, you end up hearing a lot of chit chat, and we used to see that on Google Plus Hangouts, and so I think just with competition, everybody's going to have to get a lot tighter on what they do, what they produce.
And I think that if they do, that's that tide that rises all the boats, right? That's the raises. Sorry, that's probably better English. That's that thing that says, and people being shown examples and not working in a vacuum and going, well, is this right? I don't know. I'm just going to put it out there. We'll be able to give feedback to people and say, I asked for a sentence. You gave me a paragraph. How can we maybe come to a compromise here? We'll be able to give people feedback and help them tighten up their show a little bit, because honestly, the more people on BLive, the more people in the hub, the more people broadcasting quality shows out there, that just brings us all more. So I'm really excited about that aspect of it, Jim.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to be pejorative in talking about the chit chat. I mean, there's a place for people to learn, and that's the good thing here is to just, very easily get in, screw up, try this, try that, and so it's a great educational way. But I think just the natural course of attention and competition is going to force people to really start looking and learning how to do this. And I think people like Steven, I mean, they're going to be teaching best practices, and people will have a niche to be able to tell people how to get the best out of their show. As Regis McKenna said, the best marketing is advertising, and so, or excuse me, the best marketing is education. And I think this is a fantastic channel to be able to provide that. And the way you've broken it down into educational categories, I think is terrific. One I'd asked about was nonprofits. I primarily focus in on that area, and I'd like to see how much interest there may be, so that we create a separate category just for those people who want to understand, who are practicing in nonprofits, what they might be able to communicate as well as learn in this channel in BLive or live video hub.
Yeah, and as soon as we, open up the bot for business, the bot's already there. People have subscribed, but as soon as this thing that I'm working on is ready, then we'll be able to kind of broadcast to people questions like that. How many of you are broadcasting for a nonprofit? Is that a category that would, that would fit with us? Because of course, I'll build any category that works for us, that has a nucleus of shows around it.
Well, one thing you might want to consider is just using Google Forms to do a survey, and then put that out there and just let it just however you want to. What questions you've got, because you got enough people that ought to be able to be giving you some pretty good feedback at this point.
Right.
Just an idea.
Indeed.
Just one more thing you can put on your to-do list.
Well, we've got some magical things down the road. The one that we discussed back in this is show 4, back in show 1. We said, well, if we've got all these shows listed and identifiable, then people can actually review them.
Yeah.
That's the thing that could happen, that you can have people review your shows, and those reviews be permanent, so that when people go to look at a category, get down to a show, they can see the reviews people have given of the show. Yeah. Without visiting 134 different pages.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, that's one of those things too. And I didn't have time to cover it when we were going through the bot there, but let us know what you think is going to be prevalent. Give us feedback on the show that you saw. People will have plenty of feedback opportunities, because social proof, there ain't no greater proof, everybody. Social proof is it nowadays. So if there are, a couple, 3 short testimonials that we can put with your show, we will put them with your show.
One question, you used a term I hadn't heard, which is show card. So I'm probably showing my being a newbie here, but what is a show card?
Show card is just real simple. It is, there we go. Steven is showing the one for this. We've got Steven and I on there. Obviously, we've got, kind of the name of the show has been Facebook Friendly Messenger Bot. And then it shows on the bottom when we go live.
And where do you put that?
We are going to ask for people to send us when they sign up with us. And then we will put that on people when people flip through the shows. We will put that on your listing.
Terrific. Okay, and that's where you would replace those placeholder cards with show cards.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
What about? I'm curious about another thing. When I started EBN, Engagement Broadcasting Network, I started with that as a page, and I was doing things in there, and then I realized as I started doing a few things in nonprofits that we've got 2 categories now, getting ready to go to 3. Is a show a category, can be a group? So I'm setting each one of those up as groups, not pages. Can you broadcast from a group? And would that be a show card for a group? Sorry.
That was a many-layered question, Jim. Can you repeat that one for me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm confused in my own mind. If you, does a show have to come off of a page, or can a show come off of a group?
Well, you can broadcast a show in a group. But here's the thing. If you did that, if you had a group and you broadcasted a show in the group, then it's not something that could cross-post to the hub.
Okay.
That's right.
Because you have to have a business page in there somewhere to be able to broadcast to the hub.
Okay. Well, that was what I was wondering about on the architecture. Yeah. Can I do subcategories off of the page? But it sounds like you have to have I'd be repeating what you said. It needs to be driven off of a page. Okay.
Off of a page.
It does. I mean, you have a private, if it's totally private to the group, then you can just do it directly in the group because it's not going anywhere else. If you want to use it outside the group, as RJ said, you've got to do it on a page, because from a page you can go back to the group, You can go to people's personal profiles. You can share it anywhere. Yeah. So the driver is the page, and everything goes from there. And Jason's saying yes, page to page.
Thanks. That's helpful. So I'm not going to go down the road too far with groups. I'll set them up as pages.
Well, the other benefit of doing it on page as well is that you actually see who's commenting. At the moment, we can see, just take a break, that Jason commented. Bring that up on the screen. We can see Jason's picture. We can see Jason's name, and we can see what he said. If you're broadcasting into a group, you will not see Jason's photograph. You will not see his name. You'll just see guest as the comment. And likewise, you'd only see, instead of Claire saying the mind boggles, you'd only see mind boggles if you're in a group. Because Facebook has said, for privacy reasons, that when you broadcast into a group, the software that you're using cannot see who's in the group. Yeah. So it's not that they're hiding it from you, because you can go and see it afterwards, after the show. They're hiding it from BLIVe or Zoom or wherever it happens to be, and saying they will not, as a third party, be able to use that information. So that's why it's best to go on the page.
All right, thanks.
And also, as Jason's pointing out, pages do allow for adverts in the future. So if you want to push it any further from the page, it's the easiest way to do it. In fact, it's the only place to advertise. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Well, RJ, in the last 70 minutes, you've given a masterclass in bot building. I can only say thank you.
Anytime. Thanks for sticking it through with me and putting up with my directions. And we will get better next time. Next week we're going to come back and we're going to have some of these things filled out. I don't know if we'll have everything by next week's time, but we will certainly have some of these categories filled with actual stuff so that people can see examples of what we're doing. And hopefully we'll be ready for testing sometime soon here as well. So that's what I know.
Right.
Good. Well, I just wanted to make you didn't see my clever comment when I came in late, and I said that I'm late, and I look forward to going backwards to see what RJ had to say, because it was fascinating, but I was obviously lost because she had covered so much ground. So I look forward to learning it.
I think that Claire and I were watching the replay, not necessarily today, so our minds become less boggled. It's fascinating, isn't it, Claire?
It is, yeah, definitely. It's trying to keep up with it. I mean, I'm always impressed with how you've sort of kept up with all this new technology that's coming in. I'm just getting my head round. Well, I'm okay with the Facebook Live videos, but it's the next step and what you can do with it, and the Live Hub and the bots and all this cross-posting that's now coming in. And yeah, it's just so much running to keep up.
True. We are kept very busy and entertained. And to everybody who's watched the show today, thank you for watching. If you're watching on the replay and you got this far, you can collect your medal. No, seriously. Thank you for watching the show today. It's been a blast. And to Jason for joining us as well. Thank you to Jim and to Claire. And RJ and I will be back at the same time next week. That's 12 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. And we look forward to seeing you then with episode 5. And take care for now. Bye.
Bye.
And end the broadcast.